everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show, present the NXT Ring Report. Coming up, we'll talk about this. Lola Vice is her first championship appearance. Lola Vice goes against Kimber Gray. We'll see that match coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show for NXT Revenge. And plus, the WWE in South Africa sometime this summer. We'll talk about it coming up. The Pro Wrestling Show starts. I'm the host as always. Here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation. Use the hashtag Pro Wrestling. Yeah, on for this. Don't forget. Don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend. Oh, shit. Here's the head, right there. Look, this is a thing here on the Pro Wrestling Show. In the NXT Ring Report. We're on the road to WrestleMania. All right, cut the news off. All right. Don't forget, this weekend will be WrestleMania. We'll have extended coverage for WrestleMania. We'll have predict the outcome for night 1 and 2, as well as the recap show for night 1 and 2, WrestleMania Saturday and Sunday. So we're going to be fully loaded with WrestleMania throughout this week. So look forward to seeing y'all for WrestleMania week this weekend. So we're going to do it like that. Speaking of that, Kehlani Jordan was in action. Kehlani Jordan went against Jada Parker. Guess they had to find a way to punish Jada Parker. She lost to Kehlani Jordan. Kehlani Jordan with a mean mug look in her face, the crown, saying that she's the queen, you know, of this parks. She did, and she keeps her winning ways going intact. Kehlani Jordan wins her match over Jada Parker. Kehlani Jordan did what she needed to do with that move right here to hit Jada Parker. I think Jada Parker gonna realize she gonna have to not date Jey Uso or nothing, but she gonna realize be like Kehlani. Date Carmelo, they a clean man, not a man that's already been in the streets and stuff, but she'll learn, hopefully, if she gets there. Let's hope so. But Kehlani Jordan gets the victory over Jada Parker. Speaking of that, see, Joe Henry did his concert. Joe Henry did his concert, but he got brutally attacked by Keanu Carter. Keanu Carter attacking Joe Henry and left Joe Henry down. Joe Henry might have to put down Keanu Carter sometime whenever he can. Well, you know that Joe Henry was supposed to do that concert, and he did. He did to his advantage. So he got interrupted by Keanu Carter. So it looks like Joe Henry will go against Keanu Carter next week on NXT Revenge Night 2 of Revenge Week 2. I meant to say, see that match as well. Week 2, NXT Revenge between Keanu Carter and Joe Henry. Joe Henry, the former NXT champion. Looks like he's going to be putting his fist to the mouth and not focus on entertaining the crowd with his music. So we'll see that as well as Keanu Carter had attacked Joe Henry from behind. He did. But speaking of that, a blast from the past. As Stephanie Vicare, who was the women's champion around this time last year, and she is the women's world champion. She's going to defend her championship this Saturday at WrestleMania against Liv Morgan. It looks like she was trying to give Lola Vice, the new women's champion of NXT, some sound advice, and she did. And she was giving Lola Vice some sound advice on what she was going through. So both women knows a thing or two about it. Remember Stephanie had got some sound advice from Rhea Ripley, and now Lola's getting the same sound advice this time as her being the new women's champion of NXT. Lola Vice getting that sound advice. She probably told Stephanie, you need to get some advice too. What you gotta go through a little more. Well, looks like we have a new Mini Bianca Belair. I call Bianca Belair's sister, Cal Armstrong, who debuted in Evolve, now worked her way up to the NXT. Impressive victory, attacking one of those LFG girls, clotheslining her with those big powerhouse. She kind of reminds me of Bianca Belair's big little sister that's trying to emerge, and she won by defeating the girl from LFG. So look forward to seeing her coming her way now. The NXT Championship was on the line as well as Tony D'Angelo defeated Ethan Page. Ethan Page could be on his way on to the main roster. Page making D'Angelo look good, and D'Angelo retained his championship by defeating Ethan Page. Ethan Page really didn't have a chance tonight. Then Ethan Page gonna have to really bring it. Ethan Page lost, but we're hearing rumors and reports that Ethan Page could be on his way to the main roster soon. If that's the case that Ethan Page is going to do, but we're going to see if Ethan Page is going to make his way to the main roster. But like we said, Tony D'Angelo won his match tonight. Tony D'Angelo getting the victory as he did. Looks like Miles Bourne having a problem with Dark State right here. You seen the whole Dark State coming out there. Dion Lennox was supposed to get the shot. Dion Lennox will get the shot next week. Dion Lennox will take on Miles Bourne one-on-one for the North American Championship. We'll see that match one-on-one next week for the North American Championship. Can Dion Lennox win singles gold in WWE by winning the North American Championship for Miles Bourne? It's going to be a tough task, but we'll see. Miles Bourne will really have to bring it if he's wanting to retain his NXT Championship, because it's going to be a hard task for Miles next week against North Dark State. I can tell you that right now. Well, it looks like KT Prosper won his match tonight. KT Prosper might be him if we come for the speed title. We'll see if KT Prosper gets the job done in the speed tournament. We'll see if he can get it done, but we know that he advances on to the speed tournament. KT Prosper getting closer and closer for the speed tournament. We'll see if that's going to be the case next week. We'll see. For KT Prosper getting a chance of a lifetime the speed tournament. Well, it looks like the next week on the speed tournament, right? We told you it's going to be Lexus King versus KT Prosper for the speed championship. Which one of these guys will win? I'm thinking KT Prosper is going to get it. He's young, he's dynamic. This is his moment to shine. You know, Javon Evans is gone, and this will be his moment to win some singles gold. And who never know, he could win some singles gold next week. We'll see if KT Prosper can get the job done next week. Well, we know that Lola Vice was interrupted by Stephanie McKill, the women's world champ. Came out of Stephanie McKill wishing her good luck tonight. Well, Lola Vice put her belt on the line against Jacy Jayne, the former champion, and Lola Vice getting the job done. Lola Vice shaking her rump to get the win, and Lola Vice wins. But she having newcomers coming, gunning for her belt. So Lola Vice better be watching herself. You got people like you know who, all of them. And then the brawl had escalated between Solar Roca and Zarya. They'll meet next week. These two women will have bad blood, but they'll meet next week in a last woman standing match. We'll see that next week for week 2 of Revenge. Solar Roca versus Zarya. Two was once best friends, now they're enemies. So we'll see that next week. We also said next week that Dion Lennox will get a shot at the North American Championship. This Miles Bourne, we'll see that next week. Plus, we'll see this next week. Former NXT champion Joe Henry goes against Keon Carter, who's young and hungry. He kind of reminds you of Obafemi and Trick Williams mission to one. He'll get a shot next week as well. Plus, 2, the North American Women's Championship is online as Tatum Paxton wants to defend her goal against Blake Monroe in a casket match. So we'll see that match being a casket match. These matches are getting wild and crazy. We'll see how all this is going to play out eventually. Well, we leave you with this right here on Wrestling Hot Topics. WWE's coming to South America for the live tour coming this summer. They're coming to South America live tour, so it'd be interesting to see the South America. Yeah, how that's gonna go that week. So you see how that's gonna play out. All right, we're gonna leave you with the sexy but dangerous Lola Vice retains her NXT Women's Championship over Jacy Jayne. Lola Vice shaking her rump. Her first championship defense over Jacy Jayne. And a number of women now coming to gun over to see who next in line for a shot at the women's title. Thank you all for watching this edition of the Pro Wrestling Show presents the NXT Ring Report. We continue on WrestleMania week, continue on, as well as we continue on tomorrow for the AEW Ring Report. We have more WrestleMania news heading your way throughout the whole weekend. Non-stop coverage of WrestleMania week here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Well, since I'm leaving, I'm going to be your host, Kendrick Dixon. So long. We're signing off. We'll come back to you tomorrow for the AEW Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show.